Holy shit. So if you missed the previous videos, I money shifted my car. So I took the turbo off, took all the timing stuff off the left side, the intake manifold, finally got the cylinder head off. These pistons are for a 11:1 compression ratio anyway. That's way too high of a compression ratio to push the amount of boost that I want to push, because my goal is to get as close to 500 wheel as possible on pump gas. So the trans and the transfer case are going to come out with it. So it looks like there's going to be some clearance issues if I don't take the front end off. I'm going to take out this battery tray right now. There are 3 10mm bolts holding this tray in. So there's this one right here, there's another one right here, and another one right there. Whoops. That gives me access to this transmission mount. So you're supposed to undo this one right here, which is from the battery. That one goes to right there. You're supposed to undo that one and the one for the alternator, which I believe is this one right here. Let's see, I can possibly follow this down. So right there, yep, so that is the alternator one. These are both secured by 10mm nuts. Next we have this earth cable right here. And this is a 13mm nut for this earth cable. So we got some latches right here. We gotta disconnect. Gotta put this clip back in here before I forget about it. And try to find a spot for this bumper. There's no room for it. I don't know how to remove the front end. There are no DIYs that I can find online or in the manual. So I'm just gonna have to wing this. Let's look behind here. Maybe I just need to disconnect this right here where it goes to the frame on both sides. I just have to figure out what this actually connects to. So this connects to this piece with these bolts. I'm just trying to figure out what is coming off and what's staying here. Like, I don't know if this tank is gonna stay here, this reservoir, or if only this crash bar and up are gonna be coming off, and maybe this part stays here on the car. But I'm just gonna start pulling things off and see what happens. This is my coolant container. I can remove the upper radiator hose from right here. I don't think anything's even gonna come out of here. So I think it all drained down here near the turbo and the lines that go behind the intake manifold, or the heat shield to the turbo. All right, that's nice and dry. No dripping at all, so that's good. Now there's something down there, some kind of harness. Let's see if we can find it from right down here. I think it's this guy right here. Okay, I don't know if there's an easier way to do that, but I found a little black tab right here, underneath here. Let me take the camera off my head so I make sure I get that. There's a little black tab right there. I lifted it up towards the top of the screen while I pulled out on the connector, and that is what did the trick. I assume that the headlights are going to be coming out as well, so I'm going to disconnect the two headlight harnesses. And there's this harness right here. I'm not sure what that's for. And there's a small one right here. This might not even come undone. I might have to just take the screw out. That's what I'm gonna do in a second if I can't get any luck with this harness. I'm not having any luck with the little connector right there, so I'm just gonna take out this T30 that's holding this in. There's a T30 on each side. Clearance is a little tough because of this radiator right here. Okay, I got that one off from that side, and I have the bolt for that. Looks like it had some blue thread locker on it. And now this one, same thing. Yeah, I don't know what this is. Let's see here. So the lower radiator hose definitely needs to come off. This line right here also goes right here to the intercooler. Okay, so that needs to come off as well. Okay, I've located where these AC lines go. So they both come to right here. There's one right here, and there's another one, the smaller one, that has that little bolt right there. Now this bigger one comes up here to the AC compressor. I can find the bolt to that from up above the car, but it's gonna be a little bit tricky getting my hand in there. And then that little one right there comes up here, comes around here, and it goes all the way up into there. So there's only one spot to disconnect that small one. The bigger one comes to right here. Hopefully you guys can see that. But that's a little bit tricky. Since those both are in the same spot down there near the radiator, I'm just gonna disconnect both of them right there. Make things a little bit easier for me. There's pretty poor clearance getting to these two bolts with this radiator hose still on, so I'm gonna get this off first. I'm gonna need to get my container over here again because that thing might be dripping a little bit more now. Okay, I got that clamp off. Fuck. God. It's got a bunch on me and a little bit in my eye, so I'm gonna go inside. Okay, I went in and changed my shirt and flushed the coolant out of my eye. My carpet's all soaked now. Okay, I'm gonna work on those coolant lines later tonight or tomorrow morning when I have the patience to seal them up nicely. So in the meantime, I'm gonna try to get everything else off so that everything can cool off together. As of right now, I think these 4 bolts right here are a definite, possibly this little bracket right here. These are 16mm bolts. They're not that tight. I can see this whole crash bar dropping down a little bit as I'm taking these bolts out. So we'll see if it drops any more when I take this last one out. Yeah, it's dropping a lot. I think the crash bar comes off individually, which means I'm gonna have to take off these 2 Torx right here, because this is probably still gonna be holding on the crash bar. This is the last one right here. Okay, so all 8 are out. So I'm gonna try to get everything to come off one piece. Crash bar, radiator, the condenser, the intercooler. Hopefully all of that comes off in one piece, but we will see. I'm just gonna try getting rid of a bunch of these T30s. Some right here, this one right here. Or I could just pull the headlight off and see how much that helps. seems like the whole thing's just kind of hanging over here. Stands in place just in case everything does fall down. I can just place it on the stands. Then I can like put some temporary bolts just to hold it up so that I can get those AC lines off. But yeah, try doing the same thing on this side, see if it comes off. So on this side, this little bolt right here was extremely tight and it cracked loose. Looks like it's going around in a circle as it's backing out. So I think it was cross-threaded in there. Okay, I'm gonna see if I can get this headlight off. So there's this last little one right here. I don't know if this is the last one, but there's another one right here. Let's see if this comes out now. No, still got something else. Okay, that feels like that's it. Yeah, I think that's it. Still doesn't really want to come out. Maybe I can remove this piece and then pull it straight up a little bit more. Okay, so I got this piece off. Now this might be able to, yeah, it comes out pretty easy now. Cool. So it looks like this is attached to this, but that's gonna come off. So therefore, so this thing can come off with this if I want it to. I'll just need to remove this last screw right there. And that's a little T20, T25. That's a little T25. So as long as the front end is symmetric and everything's put together the same way, this piece is clipped in to here. Yep. So if you're gonna remove the front in as few pieces as possible, this piece has to come with this. So undoing that screw and that screw is pointless. So I might as well put those back in on that side so I don't forget. And then you need to remove that little T25 over here. So there's actually 3 of these. Okay, all 3 of those are out. And that slides out now. I'm gonna try doing this side. So getting rid of the refrigerant is kind of an issue. You don't want to just vent this to atmosphere, I don't think. I think it might be illegal to do that. This isn't technically Freon. So venting Freon to atmosphere is 100% illegal and you can get fined. I think something like $27,000 if you're caught. R134A isn't technically Freon, but supposedly it's still bad for the ozone and I think it's still illegal. I had a buddy contain this just to be safe. So we vented this out into a container. So now I can get rid of the 2 lines underneath there. So hopefully you guys are following. Really just removing these 8 guys that were down here. 4 on this side, 4 on that side. Well, bumper first, bumper, then those 8 bolts, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then there were 3 little guys over here. So 8, 9, 10. So roughly 10 more each side after that. And then those 2 ACs down at the bottom and all of the other, wiring harnesses that I did before. Then we'll get those AC lines off and hopefully the whole front end will come off. So I'm actually putting one of these 16mm bolts back in on each side just so that this whole front end gets held up a little bit better and so that something is supporting it when I take those AC lines off. Because I think the AC lines are pretty much the only thing holding this in. And I mean, this can't fall completely because it'll hit this bracket down here, but the whole thing was sagging. And I think it was just that bracket was supporting the whole thing. There's this little wire you have to move around to this side, then you can slide this ball out Oh, this is for the, this must be for the hood latch. Okay, got that guy off. Let's see if I can pull on this. Yeah, I can hear stuff moving in there. Yep, I can see it. Cool. Never knew where the hood latch was. Like the cable for it. That's really cool. So I'm gonna pop this guy back on so that I don't lose that. So now let's get this headlight off. Got to get that last little guy right there. Okay, I think I'm missing something. Maybe. I think that's everything. It's just not popping out of this guy right here. Yeah. There we go. I just got to push from the back towards the front of the car. Bam. I just realized that this harness comes all the way up front here to this sensor. So I need to undo this guy. Whatever this is. I don't even know what this thing is. Or maybe I can just pull it out. Yeah, I can just pull that right out. Okay, I'm finally gonna go into there and get these refrigerant lines. And again, this is 2 T45 bolts. Oh, I just laid in so much coolant. Shit, my back's all soaked now. Pull this guy off, comes off pretty easily. The other one's not coming off easily. I think it's just stuck. Hopefully it's just stuck. Man, that guy's not budging at all. Yeah, it's the one where I don't even know where it goes. It goes all the way in there, so I need to get that off. I'm gonna try to get a little screwdriver in there. Not even enough clearance for a screwdriver. So I cannot get this guy off, and I'm gonna try sticking this little screwdriver in here and hammering. This guy's tiny. I don't even know if this is working. This is a disaster. Got 2 hammered in there. Try to get a 3rd one in there. Not sure why the hell this thing's not coming off. Now that I had those off, I'm gonna take these 2 16s off again, and hopefully everything comes off together. Okay, I'm about to remove this bolt. Yeah, it's falling down pretty hard now. Holy shit. Holy shit. So I should have had that set the right height before. Fuck, look at that. I just snapped that thing right off. Man, I'm lucky I didn't get hurt. Shit, man. This entire thing that holds the headlight just snapped right off. Damn it. I wonder if there's a way to just take that out. Oh my god, this thing is so extremely broken. That sucks. So I gotta see if I can buy a replacement for this. Let's see, it does bolt in over here in those 3 spots, and then it bolts in I think right here and up here. No, bolts in here and here. I'm not sure, maybe I don't need to replace it. Okay, I got my carpet right here, ready to put this down on it. This guy is a little heavy. I wouldn't recommend doing this by yourself, but I'm gonna give it a shot myself. So we'll see how this goes. So I think it's pretty much just on the jack stands. More coolant's coming out. Coming right out of the radiator. I'm gonna put it face down. As you can see right here, this is where it sits on this little bracket right here. So this is all sitting right here on this little bracket. And I think it does the same thing on this side. Nope, it does not do the same thing on that side. That's why that side fell so hard and broke that whole thing off. It's because there's nothing to catch it. Let's see if I can lift this. Let's see if there's anything else holding it. Nope, that was everything. Okay, just hear the coolant flushing around in there.